Some car models became successful and some cars became legends. For decades, the Renault 4 was one of the most practical cars you could buy. A car built for families, for adventure and for everyday life. Now it's back. But the world has changed and the way we drive has changed because this Renault 4 is fully electric. So the question isn't whether it's better than the original, the question is, does it still capture the spirit that made the Renault 4 so special? Today we are finding out. We are the daily drivers. This Renault 4 is the latest crossover from a Renault, built on the same platform like a Renault 5, which is a AMPR platform. With this, it's slightly higher off the ground, slightly larger and a little bit more SUV-ish, but it's not a full-blown SUV, it's a crossover. Unlike many other EVs, this car has actually a story behind it. The original Renault 4 was launched in 1960s and it was the most practical car you could buy actually for the money. And it became one of the most popular cars in Europe, so that's one hell of accomplishment. One hell of accomplishment. Accomplishment. Okay. Accomplishment. And that's one hell of accomplishment.
And that's one hell of an accomplishment.
And this new Renault 4 actually takes a lot of inspiration from its old predecessor. The design of the car is, I think, the first thing that attracts the people most, because it really reminds you of the old Renault 4, and that's a really great thing. We have over here this really nice full LED strip going around the whole grille, nice LED daytime running lights, inside over here full LED headlight as well, lit up Renault badge, so at the night it has really nice stands, and even the whole front has really nice straight SUV stands. And we have something quite special, we have functional aero, so that's really nice. Park distance control over here and some radar guided cruise control. Moving to the side, we have this nice plastic cladding around the wheel archers with this nice French detail of the Renault 4, I really like it. Blacked out wing mirrors, normal door handles, let's listen to the door shutting sound. Alright. And the rear door. The rear door sounds way more decent than the front door. With a nice length, over here we have the battery pack. This car is 4.1 meters long, so in the city you can actually park it really easily, so that's really nice. And the ground clearance is 7.1 inches. And with all of that cladding, it still looks like a proper crossover. Those wheels of the Renault 4, I really like them. They are 18-inch alloy wheels. Wrapped around those, we have Goodyear Efficient Grip 2 Performance tires. And behind those beautiful rims, we have a single piston brake caliper at the front and single piston even at the rear. And at the rear, we have this really tiny roof spoiler, privacy glass, a little wiper, a Renault 4 badge, and these retro design rear lights. I really like them. You have here your reverse light, your blinker inside, which is actually really small. The blinker are just only 2 dots like this, so that can be quite difficult to see. Park distance control, this is some empty plastic. Under the hood, we want frunk actually, but an electric drivetrain. The hood is quite light, I have to say that. We will find over here a Renault 6AK externally excited synchronous motor. One advantage of that, it doesn't use permanent magnets, so that's actually pretty good for a rare earth metal shortage, so that's pretty nicely. It produces 150 horsepower and 265 Nm of torque. For some people that want to go somewhere a little bit slower, there is also 120 horsepower option, so 2 drivetrain options. What we will find over here, simple EV tech. Inverter converter assembly on the top, below that is your EESM engine, 12 volt battery, ECU, some fuses over here, cooling for your battery and cooling for your radiator and interior of the car. And the washer fluid. I have to say one thing, watch out for your hood prop holder because it's a little bit flimsy and plasticky, and if this breaks then it will just wobble here around. Be careful with that. Sounds decent. The 6AK engine gets powered by 2 battery sizes. The base model battery is 40 kilowatt hours, like we have the top model battery is 52 kilowatt hours. How can you charge it? Charging port right over here. You can charge it up with the regular AC up to 11 kilowatt hours, but a DC fast charging, but this thing is really sturdy over here, like this. Then you have up to 100 kilowatt hours of fast charging. So from 10 to 80% on a DC fast charger is roughly 30 minutes, so that's pretty nice. The base model, 40 kilowatt hour battery, has a WLTP range of roughly 308 kilometers. But if you go to 52 kilowatt hours, then you have 408 kilometers of WLTP range, so that's pretty nice. Welcome on the inside. We can see here a really nice dashboard, and actually I think for all of you who have seen the Renault 5 video, it is familiar because the Renault 4 actually has the same dashboard design. They have really designed this really nicely. I really love this dashboard design because there is some retro in it, but with some modern tech. And talk about the modern tech, we have two 10-inch displays, digital gauge cluster, which is 10-inch, and 10-inch infotainment, which runs on Renault's OpenR software, which is Google-based, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This OpenR system works with Google Maps, and I really liked it. Steering wheel is leather wrapped, heated as well. You have some nice buttons for your cruise control, media buttons, multi-sense button, which is your drive mode selector on the Renault. Behind that is your volume rocker and track selector, wiper and gear lever stock. In the Renault 5 video I said that it's a little bit too much over here, and in the Renault 4 as well it's a little bit much over here. So that's my only gripe with this interior. Next to it we have some really nice buttons with some nice clickage for the HVAC controls. They have done this really well. Your parking brake. Below that we have a 12-volt socket with two USB-C charging, wireless charging pad for your iPhone, which is really nicely. Behind the wireless charging pad we have two cup holders, Doppler fit quite nicely. You can even remove this piece of plastic that actually divides it, and then you have one large cubby. For the key fob blowers, and we have them. This is how it looks like a little card. Familiar Renault key. The armrest, nicely padded, pretty small, and also quite deep but small center console space. And those seats look, in my opinion, really nicely. They are cloth with some leather, eco leather over here. They are heated in 3 stages, and they sit actually really comfortably. They are manual, not electrical. On the driver's seat you have a lumbar support, so for the long journeys you won't have the back pain. And these two lights are touch sensitive. And we also don't have the Harman Kardon system like we had in the Renault 5, but we have the base system, which has 6 speakers, 2 tweeters over here and 4 door woofers, and at the back there is actually a cutout for a tweeter from a Harman Kardon sound system. Extremely damped glove box. Look at this. It's moving.
One eternity later.
It's quite decent. It's really nicely damped. I found actually something also interesting. This is an optional Renault 4 cubby for your 2 cup holders. So you can put this, and then you have this nice cubby where you put your phone like this. I have now hopped in the rear seat of the Renault 4. I am 1.81 meters and I fit here pretty nicely. I have enough headspace, but my knees are actually touching the seat. I'm sitting behind myself, and you can see my legs are pretty high up. And that is because in the floor we have the batteries. My feet are quite high up. If you have the seat on the lowest position, like I have, then you cannot even put your feet in there. So yeah, for your feet space it's a little bit cramped. We have ISOFIX right over here. No armrest. Nope, not even a ski pass-through, but we have 2 big pockets on the rear seats and 2 small pockets so you can put your phone in there. 2 times USB-C charging, and the rear window doesn't go all the way down, so if you're small but you're sitting here quite high, wave at your grandma. Electric 5th door, which is nice in this segment. We have tons of camera equipment here, but it fits really nicely because we have 420 liters of luggage space. This is actually for a charging cable. That's pretty nice. Below this, we have a removable cubby, which has maximum carrying weight of 10 kilos. And you can remove it like this and put your drinks in it with some ice. And then you have a really nice picnic with some cold drinks. If we have the optional Harman Kardon sound system, then over there is a subwoofer. And now if we remove the parcel shelf like this, and if we fold the rear seats down with a press of a button, then we don't have a flat floor. But what we will have is a 1,105 liters of luggage space. You can fold your front seat as well, flat, and then you can put some large items in it of length of 2.2 meters. You cannot sleep in it because the floor isn't flat at all. If you have enjoyed our full review so far, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe button to see way more of the content we are gonna create, because it will help us out a ton. Let's take a Renault 4 for a quick drive. With this gear lever, you can put it into a D and let's go for it. And first we will talk about the suspension of it. The car is equipped with the MacPherson strut on the front and multi-link at the rear, which is actually the exact same setup like the Renault 5 has. So that's really nice in this car segment. What this gives you is way more control over the body and the chassis. You have great steering feel. You can really feel what our front wheels are doing, but there is a little catch. We are now driving about the speed bump. The car is comfortable. You do not feel the speed bump, but those dampers are a little bit disconnected. And that gives this car a little bit too much head wobble. I mean, look at this. I mean, this is quite a bit head wobble. And me as a car person, but I'm also car sick, makes me even car sick behind the steering wheel. And it's the first time I experienced that. That is something to take into consideration if you're looking for a Renault 4. How does the 6AK engine put its 150 horses down? And I have to say, pretty nicely. Look at this. We even get some tire squeal, and we are already now doing 80 kilometers an hour. You have multiple modes: eco, comfort, sport. We have personal mode, which means personal, and then you can over here configure all your feelings of the car. But I actually like the comfort mode because it's way more comfortable. Behind the steering wheel we have these flappy pedals, and with those you can actually choose regenerative braking. We have zero regenerative braking, then you can glide. This car glides really nicely, I have to say that. If you put it on once, then it glides a little bit less. On the second level, it brakes a little bit harder. And you can even activate one pedal drive. If I let my gas pedal now go, the car actually starts one pedal braking. The braking performance of this car is pretty nice. Already said, we have disc brakes on all four corners with single piston brake calipers, but the handoff between regenerative braking and physical brakes is actually really natural. You cannot feel the difference between the handoff. So they have done this really well and they've tuned it really nicely. How is the NVH of the car? I still have some wind noise from this door. We had it on the Renault 5 and I can still hear it as well on the Renault 4. So I have no idea if this is a Renault thing. I have no idea. The tire noise is minimal. Wind noise just from over here, but those mirrors are pretty silent. The NVH is pretty nice. And does the NVH benefit the sound system? Yes, it does, because it's pretty silent inside. I already said we have 6-speaker sound system. We have tested all test tracks on it. I give it a C. There is enough power for the bass sound system. Everything comes through clearly. The bass is not the deepest, but there is some bass like from 50 Hertz and up. The mids come through pretty nicely. They blend into those tweeters and those tweeters manage it quite well. And the highs come through pretty crispy, so that is pretty nice. And also, which is quite impactful of the NVH, you can option this car with the optional canvas roof. Be aware of, it will decrease your NVH level. And with this mode button, you can go through all of your cruise control modes. You can do adaptive cruise control, regular cruise control, or turn it off, or do active steering assist. Put it with this button set. You can set it on 80 because there is 80 over here, so we will do that. And the car will steer itself off the road. Oh my god. Alright, it just centered itself. With this button, you can increase or decrease your following distance. It works really nicely. Renault have turned this really nice. Finally, we have the safety suite. Renault comes equipped with the latest safety suite from a Renault, and you can see the wall list right over here because there is actually a lot of it, and it works pretty nicely. It is really nicely in the background. It doesn't interrupt your steering. You can do quite a bit of silly things after the wheel before it gets dangerous. So they've done it really nicely. The practicality and the ownership of the car is great because the old Renault 4 was legendary and became so famous because of its practicality. And this car continues the old trend of it. So they have done that really, really well. 7.1 inches of ground clearance, enough to clear every speed bump into city, even some mild off-roading maybe. You can try it, but you don't have all-wheel drive, so beware of that. And I think you have pretty decent car for this money, because it's also not really expensive. Material build quality is great, and I think it will last you quite a long time. And let's do a test of the reverse camera. You have nice lines, so you can see where are you going, but the quality of the reverse camera is a little bit, yeah, it could be better. I have to say that. Park distance control is really nice, and the car can even park for you, so that's really nice. Does the Renault 4 live up to its legendary status? Because this isn't trying to be the fastest EV or even the most luxurious one, but what the Renault 4 does really well, that is actually connecting people emotionally to a little bit of history, the old Renault 4 vibes. And that is something that if this car done really, but really well. Do I recommend the Renault 4? Yes, I do. With the beefiest drivetrain and the biggest battery pack. That is actually the one I would go for, because then you have a usable family crossover. So if you have liked this video, again, like and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on notification. Massive thanks to Renault Stockman from Den Helder. They are the dealer if you want to buy brand new Dacia or maybe this Renault 4. Go check them out. The link will be in the description. Many thanks for lending us this car, and we will see you on the next one. Ciao!